So, Jan, do you suppose people think we read from a script, or do they think we improvise?
I'm pretty sure they think we read from a script now. Well, that really depends on what you call improvisation.
Well, that's our theme for this week.
We'll be talking to improvisational comedian and singer-songwriter Kathy Quinn.
We'll also keep you up to date on the events in our community.
And, of course, no episode would be complete without hearing from Malelani's fearless leader, George Drakopoulos.
Yawol!
He's going to be telling us about all the exciting changes happening at the cafe.
So if you're ready, let's get started with the Rusty and Jan Show! When the world comes crashing down on us, they're always there, and they're always happy company because they care. Oh, yes, they care. And when you need to take out pain, well, no one else will do. Dial the phone or go on Zoom. Thank God there are friends like you. I said, thank God there are friends like you.
Our song of the week is by Keith Shaw.
It's called Going Home.
Every week is a new adventure at the Malelani Cafe. But that's a good thing. It makes us do stuff that we normally wouldn't be challenged to do, and that's what music is about. Anyways, what did I do last week? Oh, I did original songs. What am I doing this week? Oh, I'm going to do some more original songs. This one's called I'm Going Home. Going home, I'm going home. Road is a long, I must move on. Going home. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Your photograph is all I have to see me through. Thousands of miles more that I must go as neon signs pass on by. I'm going home. Another hotel along the way at every evening's end. The voice on the radio is my only friend. Can't make the time go faster. This loneliness won't stop. The road is long, but I am going home. Going home. I'm going home. The road is long, I must move on. I'm going home. I took a break in Reno to keep my mind clear, hoping I can still hang on. Going home across the mountains, 8,000 feet high, close enough to reach the stars that light the sky. Moving through every town, swift and silently. Your voice on the telephone, well, it whispers so sweetly. Can't make the time go faster. This emptiness won't stop. The road is long, but I am going home. The road is long, I am going home. It's been a long, long time since I've held you. Daydreams of you dance in my mind. Going home. Big sun is shining. The wind is at my back. The Road is long, I must move on. I'm going home. Road is long, I must move on. Going home. Road is long, I must move on. I'm going. Let go of the guitar there. That was pretty funny.
And now it's time for Going Out with Rusty and Jan. Welcome again to Going Out with Rusty and Jan. We're excited to announce the upcoming guest for our show. On July 5th, we'll feature Jay Singing Spirit Cunningham. On July 12th, we'll interview Rick Page. And then on July 19th, we'll talk to Julianne Ott.
Yes. Malelani Cafe starting to have indoor performances. Yeah, we're ready for that. Make sure you support the artist and have some of Georgia's delicious food. Here are some upcoming shows. Saturday, July 10th, we were so pleased to welcome back Bethlehem and Sad Patrick. Gosh, it's so many people we haven't seen over this last year. They'll be there from 2 to 5. And on Sunday, July 11th, two of our most devoted Malelaniites. You like how I said that? Say
Yes,
that
I did.
3 times fast. Ready?
Malelaniites.
3 times fast.
Malelaniites, Malelaniites, Malelaniites.
I'm not going to do that. So as I said, on Sunday, July 11th, two of our most devoted Melaniites, Charles Nolan and Marsha Lowe, will take the stage from 1 to 4. Please contact Jan if you are interested in scheduling a show at Malelani.
Last week's open mic went back inside and it went pretty smoothly. Yay!
Yeah.
We're continuing to work through challenges as our open mic evolves. And we're excited for what the future may bring. We'll continue to have virtual sets for those who are not yet comfortable going inside. And as usual, we'll have online signups every Wednesday at 5 on the Malelani Open Micers Facebook group page.
Jan, I think we're going to be going virtual from here on out. I just like the virtual experience. I like interacting virtually. I love having the open mic at Malelani, but I like connecting with people like Jay and the other people from all around the country.
Yep.
It's very important to me.
I mean, I talked to George about it the other day, and he says he doesn't really think virtual's going anywhere anytime soon. So
No, exactly.
he likes it.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have to do a virtual night. Let us know what you think about that. Write back. Tell us what you think about having a separate night for virtual. So anyhow, here are the festivals that we are aware of. Falcon Ridge Folk Festival will have a one-day outdoor hybrid event on July 31st in Goshen, Connecticut. We just got an email from them. It looks like they're starting to put volunteers together and the event is going to happen. We think it's great that they're doing something and that there'll be something there for the people who've been supporting them all these years. So if you've been a Falcon Ridge person, then you should definitely contact the website. That's www.falconridgefolk.com. And if you get any more details, send them on to us.
The Philadelphia Folk Festival will be a hybrid event this year and will take place on August 21st and 22nd. It'll feature live concerts at the Spring Mountain Ski Resort with a maximum of 1,000 audience members. There will be no in-person camping, sadly, but the PFS will once again offer virtual campsites. For more details, visit www.pfs.org.
Yeah, and consider doing a virtual campsite and then coming to our virtual campsite, wherever that is. And I think you'll find that it's an enjoyable experience.
We had a blast last year.
I mean, let's look at it. If it weren't for virtual this past year, where would we have been? So let's just keep riding that train and it'll be fun. So anyhow, XFest will take place in person at the Country Creek Winery on September 17th and 18th. Their volunteer registration page is now open at www.xsfmusic.org. And I'll just mention that Dexter from Malelani is going to be playing there with the Gene Smith Band. So it's a great opportunity to see him and support a fellow Malelaniite and the Gene Smith Band as well.
We're planning an event this fall to film scenes for the completion of a video for Rusty Song's Pop Train. This will be tentatively taking place on September the 25th, and we're envisioning a picnic-style event to include jamming and other fun, family-friendly activities. We really hope you'll be joining us and possibly taking part in some of the filming. More details to come.
Yes, and PFS Fall Fling will happen in person October 1st through the 3rd with limited attendance in Green Lane, Pennsylvania.
And now it's time to see what George is cooking up at Malelani Cafe this week. It's time for George's Corner!
George's Corner!
Oh my God.
Hey everybody, and welcome to George's Corner. I'd like to thank Rusty and Jan for having me on the show this week. We had a wonderful weekend of music, and we had a wonderful open mic. We also have our new neighbor, Nina, who opened Nina Street's Design next to the cafe. She did that on Sunday, so we had music inside and outside for that. So we started to do inside music, everybody, and it's going really well so far. I think everyone's ready to come out. We have put some new awnings up, as you can see behind us. So we have open mic this Thursday and music Friday, Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4. So come check us out. Bye.
And now it's time for Head to Head with Rusty and Jan. So Jan, I should get that. She's always criticizing me because everything I say starts with "so Jan." So Jan, what would you call improvisation?
Google defines it as the art or act of composing, uttering, executing, or arranging anything without previous preparation.
True. Well, today's interview with Kathy Quinn will touch on her improvisational work with her comedy troupe, Stealth Tightrope. So I guess the field is pretty wide.
It appears that way.
It includes songwriters, actors, comedians, and anyone who considers themselves to be an artist.
Now, wait a minute. I haven't had much experience with songwriting, but I can improvise. I don't necessarily consider the act of songwriting to be improv.
Well, is it not an event that could be considered to be artistic? What would Layla be without the musical expressions of the other members of the band?
And that's my point exactly. The other musicians didn't write the song. It was their improvisation that made the song so special, though.
Exactly. So we agree that improvisation can take many forms, whether it be songwriting or simply building a sandcastle. As we've heard from many other songwriters, the process begins with a nagging idea, which transitions into the trial and error of finding the right chords and lyrics to suit the idea. I myself find this process of give and take to be a necessary part of completing the song.
Yes, and I find inspiration from hearing those chords and lyrics. Oftentimes it's something that's said in the lyrics that gives me an idea of what style I choose, and the chords almost always determine what notes I pick.
It appears as if the process of improvisation can be a scary undertaking, but it's worth taking chances.
And the confidence to do that comes from watching others improvise and learning to take a leap of faith. Interaction is key. It's really hard to improvise by yourself.
I'm not going to go there. So be prepared to fall on your face, but you will survive and you'll also learn from it.
And if you take the chance, you might surprise yourself. Trust your gut.
We had the pleasure of interviewing just such an improviser. This was Kathy Quinn. This is how it went. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very fortunate to have a lovely lady joining us this week. She's an excellent singer-songwriter, very involved with Philadelphia Folk Song Society and the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance, PASA, I think where we may have met her. And she always shows up at Malelani. She shows up at a lot of places. You'll see her around. And she's a real pleasant addition to the folk music community of this area. So with that, I present you
Kathy Quinn.
Hi, Kath.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Very good, yes.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's good to be out and about finally again.
Yes, it is.
Now that the restrictions are lifting.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw a full school bus. I was like, oh, it's normal again. You know? It's amazing. So
tell us about your musical beginnings. When did you start playing and what drew you to music?
Well, I mean, I always enjoyed, music growing up. But I guess when I got to be like a young adult, I fell in among folkies. And, folk rock musicians, some lots of really talented people in the Philadelphia area who were playing around in bands and stuff like that in the 70s and the 80s. And I was very fortunate to be able to spend a lot of time learning how to play in sort of an organic setting of like just communal jamming.
Mhm.
And so I picked up a lot of really great skills and learned a lot about, like Americana and roots music, just from spending time with really, really great musicians and just, playing a lot of songs.
Right.
I would just comment on that. In my own experience, I remember going for years without progressing an iota, playing the same songs over and over and over again. It wasn't until I got into communities of other musicians where I began to grow and become more than I was. So I think perhaps it is a common experience.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, you meet a lot of people and you make, lifelong connections.
Oh,
And just being in that type of an environment where everybody feels kind of safe to experiment is great for trying new things.
Yeah. It's funny. It's the community that we speak of. It's the only community where you could make a mistake in your performance and everyone would laugh at you and everyone would get the joke.
Right. Or you could just go, oops, let me try that again.
And they'll still love you after that.
Yeah, because it's
like
real.
They're in on the joke and it's like
because it's
an
real.
Amazing thing. Yeah.
So when did you start writing songs?
Well, I wrote, I dabbled a little bit when I was younger, like in my 20s, because I'm really just like, 30, Rusty. I'm joking. I thought I'd lowball it there a little bit.
Hey, why not?
Well, we know that you all look good to me.
Aw. I experimented a little off and on when I was a little earlier in my path musically. And I guess I really started to dive into it, I'd say, in the last 10 years or so.
Wow.
So
why do you write?
Why
do you write?
You mean like what style?
What is it you're trying to get out there? What is it?
It's not any one specific thing, but it's definitely things that occur to me that are what I think are maybe like life lessons, things that I learned or things that I've never learned.
Sure.
I've been trying to learn,
Yeah.
and like reflections on real life experiences, sometimes just something that's funny that just to make people laugh. But it's really, it's something that just pops into my mind.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
use the word reflections. I think a lot of us would relate to that. That's we write about our reflections.
Yeah, and things that you've been processing for a long time that
Right.
they
Exactly.
finally come to, like you come to a realization or make peace with something, and then something crystallizes, and then it turns into a couple of lines, and then
Well,
you
that
hear
really
the
leads me
sound.
to my next question, and that's about your process. How does it start? Is it this little tickle in the bump behind your ear that just grows into something, or is it?
Yeah, a lot of times it is. Like something will occur to me, like I'm just doing normal things that you do, and I'm thinking about stuff, and something pops into my head, like a phrase or a sentence or a couple of ideas about something that I want to say, about something that makes sense to me now. And then I just start hearing it turn into a refrain of some kind,
Right.
and then sometimes from there, it's pretty immediate that I just write it all down, Sometimes it's like 4 lines and then that's it for a while.
Right.
And then I come back to it later and cobble stuff together. But it is most of the time something that has like dawned on me,
And of course, there's the people, as you've already mentioned, that have influenced you, and we all have our superheroes that we relate to. So who are those people?
Well, I guess is the first sort of group that comes to my mind are the female folk rock singers of the 70s, Joni and Bonnie Raitt is a big influence. And Linda Ronstadt, like those kinds of singers, who were really kind of Carole King, of course, Carly Simon, who were all sort of like, they were, they have like really, like the songwriting is really great. And then they just have these really sort of empowered female, voices.
Yeah, but excuse me though, you're much too young to be of their generation. I don't understand this.
I know I'm confounding you with decades. I'm confusing you with decades now. I realize that. And then the other thing though is I really, really admire some other songwriters. One of my favorite songwriting teams of all time is Robert Hunter and Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. I'm a big Deadhead going, some decade or other back. I'm going to leave you guess. But, I'm so they're to me like a really great, really just incredibly magical lyrics. And also, I really like Bernie Taupin and Elton John as a songwriting team.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah. So,
It's
and then
not a name we hear a lot, but
no, but I mean,
yeah,
that's a magical songwriting team right there
Absolutely.
too. That's real chemistry. And I also do really love Springsteen's. I'm a big Springsteen fan also.
So is Rusty.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah, we
I
used
mean,
to
I
be
could
neighbors.
Did you?
Yeah,
Not
Wow.
neighbors. They lived in the same vicinity.
and we frequented the same bars.
Okay, that's neighbors.
Yeah.
That qualifies. Yeah, so that's another one. Richard Thompson. I love Richard
Yeah,
Thompson.
yeah.
And of course Dylan. Oh, and Neil Young. I
Oh,
should
boy.
stop now, but that's
You've
just
been
like
really influenced.
yeah, that's a lot of selections there.
Well, why don't you show us how they all impacted on you?
I will do that.
All
So I'm going to play a song for you this is one of, I said that I really sort of dove into it about 10 years ago. And this is probably one of the first songs that I think really, I was really pleased with it. And it is about, based on something, a relationship that really needed a lot of processing. You know what I mean? It's called Master Plan. walking on the street just the other day. I had to make my retreat. I didn't know what to say. Did our eyes meet for a second? Maybe for a fleeting one. I was trying not to see you see me. It was like another hit and run. There were times when I felt like I was in your hand, just like a master plan. Yeah. Like putty and a knife. Now I feel like I need a disaster plan. Yeah. You keep on walking, don't turn around, and I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground. Love was fine when my body ruled my mind. I gave my strength to you. It was cool and it was kind, and there was no dividing line, no defense from you. There was a hole in our room. I tried not to fall. Now I'm back on my feet. I don't take that road at all. No, no. There were times when I felt like I was in your hand, just like a master plan. Like putty and knife. Now you look at me, a disaster plan. Yeah. You keep on walking, don't turn around, and I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground. I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground. I'll keep my feet on the ground. I'll keep my feet on the ground. Oh.
Lovely. That's lovely.
That had a really neat groove. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We understand that this is the first year that you participated in FALM, which stands for February Album Writing Month. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I heard about FALM before, which, is like a whole international thing. It's on a website, and you just sign on for the month of February, and, they give you lots of songwriting prompts and things like that. And people are trying to get 14 songs written in a month.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's me. But I decided to give it a try. And I did write 6, which is much more than I thought I would do. And the thing about it that I really liked is that it's a really great community of people, because you write something and you're really you're taking a risk, but it's very safe, because there are these challenges and what they call skirmishes, where you write a song in an hour, and people are doing this, and some of them are doing it like they're just they'll write something and then post it and say, I just put this together 10 minutes ago, and it's very open. You know what I mean? And then some people have really, they have these incredible, home recording situations, and they have these great recordings. And then some people are like, I just put this together on my phone, and it's all over the place, but it's really appreciative, because people will give you really really enjoy what you've done, and say really insightful things about words and things like that you wrote. It's just really, I guess, special to that environment because that's what everybody's doing.
Sure.
Right. So I thought it was I really enjoyed it. And sometimes, even though most of the time when I write a song, it's from like something that pops up, it's something that happens. Sometimes I don't do it too often, but sometimes I do try to like just deliberately sit down and go, I'm going to write a song about something, and like a specific thing. And
Well, what impresses me about it is, we've been involved with the communities, as you have, and there's no question about how that's the source of our growth and such. But it answers the question that many singer-songwriters have. Can I write without being inspired first?
Right,
Can I
exactly.
write on command? And if you can
Right.
find out that you can do that, then you can really trust yourself to proceed.
Right. And what it did was it reminded me of, I do improv comedy. I'm in an improv comedy troupe called,
Something we didn't know about you.
yes.
Yes.
Well, we've been on hiatus during the shutdown, but it's a improv comedy group called Stealth Tightrope in Swarthmore at Spotlight Theater. And so I'd done that for a number of years. And of course, the guiding premise of improv is yes and. Right. Somebody gives you something and you say yes and you don't think about it. You just go with it. And to me, what a lot of that, the prompts and things like that, the themes or whatever, from in FOM were just like that. It was like, okay, I'm going to go with this. Let's see what happens,
Well,
So
that's very inspirational to other
Yeah.
songwriters and women. It says just get out there and do it.
Makes
Yeah.
me feel like even though I can't write a lyric to save my life, that maybe I should try it.
Maybe you
Aw.
can if you try.
Maybe I should do it. Maybe I'll get one song out of it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, as I just said, if I do 2 songs, that's great. And I ended up doing 6. So I was
That's
pretty
incredible.
pleased.
Yeah.
So what I'm
So I
gathering
recommend it.
Is that it was people of all different songwriting levels.
And
Some people that could
styles.
Yes, different styles. but
Lots of
some people
different
that could just
styles.
whip them out, and then other people
Yeah.
that,
And the other thing about community, I think you would agree, is it doesn't have to be a person who's more advanced than you or plays better than you. It's just coming from a different perspective is where the growth comes from.
Right, exactly. And being, especially when you're playing together with other people, like, being able to share something in the moment, like when you're doing an Elvis Costello song and all of a sudden Rusty appears. It sings really great
That was
harmony. It's
fun.
like, that's fun. That's like the real deal there. You know what I mean? It's just really genuine. And I really enjoy that. So I'm glad we're going to be able to get back to.
I'm not just a photo bomber, I'm an audio bomber as well.
There you
Yes,
go.
it is.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're going to be able to get back to that because that's really
Absolutely.
sort of the tradition that I have always participated in.
Right.
Absolutely. So you were mentioning before that you're also on the archives committee.
I
for
am.
the Folk Fest. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, the Folk Song Society is historical preservation society, and part of the mission is to preserve folkways, right? So the archives committee records live performances. When you go to the folk festival, there you'll see there's like all the remote stages. There's a little soundboard, and we're recording those. We're capturing those performances, and there's a big recording studio underneath the main stage, where the main stage performances are being recorded and mixed. And the Folk Song Society maintains, like an archive. You've seen them. Last year on the virtual fest, we saw lots of archived performances. So they're video captured, they're audio captured. Excuse me. And then I think for the 40th anniversary, there was like a best of a 2 CD collection of some of the, like a curated selection of some of the archived performances. And so we document, what the date, the performer, the name of the song. And sometimes you really have to do some legwork to find out the name of some songs because,
I was just going to say that.
yeah, traditional music doesn't always and any song, any performer, you're not sure if it seems like it's a song about like, I love you, dear, and it's actually called, Highway or something. So we do some research to make sure we have the right name for the song, and if there's any other guest performers who come up on stage, we record all that for the archives.
So we're in the archive somewhere, but you might go blind trying to find us.
Well, it's all meticulously kept.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever wanted to, we can get you that. We can get you that recording.
Well, we'll have to see about that. That would
Yeah.
be interesting.
Yeah,
Sounds
we
like
can
a very
get that.
interesting committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I would mention that it's very good work that you do. It's important to save this stuff, So much of folk music is about the music that we got in the early days of the mountains and
That's right.
Lead Belly and all that stuff. What if someone didn't
It's tied
go
to
out
culture.
there and find it?
It's tied to history and culture.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what about you? What are you working on right now? What are your plans for the future?
Well, since I did write the 6 songs for FALM, I have been sort of exploring. I'm sort of dipping a toe in the water of doing my own recordings at home. I do want to go into a studio and do some studio recordings at some point in the future. I haven't really made a plan for that, a firm plan for that.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in, I have a DAW, on my computer, a digital audio workstation, and I've been, kind of teaching myself how to, record different tracks and do stuff with the editing and all that. So I'd like to be able to put up on, I have a SoundCloud channel, I guess it's called, and a YouTube channel, and I haven't put any of that bomb stuff up there yet. So that's what I'm working on.
Hearing them.
Yeah.
And I do want to get out and play in front of people some more because,
we always love having you at Malelani.
I know.
I
So
do the booking, right?
you know what? We'll talk, we'll sidebar after this.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm looking for more opportunities to play. I do enjoy playing for real live 3-dimensional people.
Wow.
And so I'd like
out there, we saw them.
Yeah. And so I'd like to do some more of that too.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, very good.
Right.
So why don't you give us another one?
All right. Well, what I'm going to play now is actually it's the last song that I wrote of the 6 for FALM. And this song is called Coda because I wrote it at the end of the month, right? But also for other reasons because like at the end of February, so all this stuff was happening, like we were starting to see that people were getting vaccinated and it was starting to look like this was going to start to come to an end, right? And winter was coming to an end, like there were all these sort of endings and beginnings happening. But that whole pandemic time period had been such a long drought of solitude. And I don't mind solitude at all, really, I don't. But like there was a lot of time spent, I think I'm not the only person who would say this, sort of mentioned reflecting before, and spending time, maybe trying to put it into words, trying to put it into music, what's going on around us. We had a really rough 2020, so I feel like, so this song is sort of like about the end of a bunch of things, but also reflecting on the time that was spent reflecting on a bunch of things. And it's called Coda. When I try to rewind the videotape of my mind, I fast forward to the innocent pictures I drew. And I always find cafes, stages, and friends. Well, I guess it's for the best what I didn't know then. Now I'm thinking up rhymes and I'm putting down lines watching a verse turn as the winter unwinds, making the least of my idle time. What more can I do? If only I knew. And one thing I learned, some things don't matter so much. There's air you can't breathe, and things you can't touch. And one thing I learned, some things you'll always hold near. Some of your songs are only for your own ear. Now I'm thinking of rhymes, and I'm putting down lines, watching the earth turn, and other good signs, making the best of my precious time. What more can I do? If only I knew. If only I knew. If only I knew. If only I knew.
Oh, just
Wow.
lovely. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Wow.
Very
Very
nice.
thought-provoking lyrics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
actually, at first I was like, that's okay. But I've been playing it more and I'm like,
That's more than
it's like
okay.
a kind of a tick higher than okay.
That's
So
definitely more than okay.
Oh, thank
I
you.
thought it was special.
And but that goes along with what you were saying. I wouldn't have known the name of that as Coda,
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Right.
right?
Good point.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, what about, do you have it? Well, you were mentioning you were starting to do some recordings. Do you have any already that people can purchase or download or anything like that?
Well, everything that I have is free. And if you go on SoundCloud, I am on SoundCloud as KL Quinn.
Okay.
And I am on YouTube as Kathy Quinn. And I
Okay.
have some lyric videos that I made by my own self on YouTube that so you can, I kind of got into making some like videos for a while. It was fun. And on SoundCloud, I think I have a few more recent songs, but like I say, I haven't got any of those phone songs yet. But that's the project now.
And what's the name of your improv group?
It's called Stealth Tightrope, which is an anagram of Spotlight Theater. And the theater is in Swarthmore, and it's called Spotlight Theater. So we very cleverly named ourselves Stealth Tightrope. And hopefully we'll be able to get back on stage sometime in this next, if not in the fall, hopefully in the spring.
That's great.
Well, I
yeah.
hope that you'll have some video for us at some point that we can bring to the Rusty and Jan show. to see
Oh,
that side
yeah.
of you. That would be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
There is a Stealth Tightrope YouTube page, and I think, but it's kind of, there's some older ones. I think I'm in some of the older ones.
Okay.
So you can look that up too.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Well, thank you for coming on our show, Kathy.
Oh, it was really, I wanted to tell you that you really gave some really good information for budding songwriters. You really did. And I hope that people will tune in and take advantage of that. It's,
Yeah,
you're very
the thing
special
is,
that way.
there's no rule book. You're
Right.
taking things out of your heart and your mind, and you're putting them into words and sounds. And It's like one of the least rule bound things. I mean, sure, there's, try to stay in key, but you don't, but that's Western, like you don't even have to do that if you don't want, like it's one of the least, rule bound things you can do in life. So have at it.
There's no rule book, but as we approach the pitfalls and go through them, we definitely try and share that information when we can. So I think you've done that very well today. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, our pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely. So, very good. So, sweetie baby.
Yes.
It seems as though we had to encapsulate what improvisation is. For me, I would say it's about the courage to follow your own ideas without limitations.
We'd like to close our show by playing a song that incorporates a lot of improvisation on my part. I never play it the same way twice.
It's a song I wrote more than a few years ago called Come Away With Me. Here's a little story about separation. About two people who've loved each other all their lives. And now they're in a train station about to go away from each other. Grade school's over. High school prom was great. But now it's time to go. So they meet in that train station, and she's up there on the platform, looking down the track, all excited about the future. And he's about to say goodbye to his one true love. But before she goes, this is what she says. Come away with me. Come away to the city with me. Come away, we can be free. Come away with me. He wants to be supportive. He's always had her back. He's the one pushed her on to be all that she could be. And he was always there. So he figures before she goes, he's gonna try and be a good friend. And this is what he says. Go away from me. Go away to that damn city without me. Go away, you can find a way to get free. Get away from me. She's never been out there by herself. He's always been there, and she's not sure she's going to make it out there in that big city. Without him, all bets are off. So she says one more time before she goes on down that track, They hear the whistle blow. This is what she says. Guess I'll go and be free. Far away, where you never can see me. In the city, you know that's where I'll be. But before, are you sure you just can't come with me? There's a creak of the rails. The wheels start to turn. The train starts to move. And they're holding hands and the movement pulls them apart. She raises up her hand. And she waves goodbye. And he says, stay with me.